Are you wise or are you foolish? How do you get wiser? Whenever I find myself between major devotional studies or reading a book of the Bible or whatever my most recent Bible intake pattern has been, and I'm shifting to something else, and there's a little gap, here's what I do. I just look at the calendar, see the date, and read that chapter of Proverbs. If it's the 11th of the month, I read Proverbs chapter 11. If it's the 27th, Proverbs 27. There are 31 chapters in Proverbs, enough for a chapter a day in any month. And Proverbs is the first place to go if you want to immerse yourself in and grow in true wisdom. Here are 5 ways to do that. The first thing you can do if you want to grow in wisdom is to pick a month, any day, and just start. And just start reading on whatever day of the month it is until you're through the full 31 chapters of Proverbs over the course of 31 days. As you're reading, just allow the flow of the wisdom and the thinking and ideas in there to kind of seep into you. Mark any verse that jumps out at you and seems especially relevant to your situation. And just keep reading a chapter a day until you're finished the entire book. Now, a little side note, you can pretty much start anywhere and go through all 31 chapters based on the day of the month, but the first 9 chapters are nice to do in order as there's a bit of a flow to them. The others, it doesn't matter so much, but certainly the first 9 chapters is helpful to do chapter 1 through 9. So that's the first level of getting wisdom from Proverbs, just reading it through, marking it up over the course of a single month. Secondly, as you're reading through the first time, you notice there are some themes. Now, obviously, the big theme of the book is wisdom. There's an accompanying theme of folly. There's a lot about speech, lots about parenting and money and possessions and relationships and leadership. So what you should do is on your next run through the book, after reading a chapter a day, on your next run through, pick a theme. This run through now might be less than a month, maybe just a few days or even just one sitting. But pick a theme. It's best just to pick one for focus. Pick one theme like speech. Have a colored pencil of some kind in your hand and just mark every passage that relates to that theme that you're studying. Then when you're done, you can go back and read all of those colored passages at once, and you will have an immersion in wisdom tied to that topic. For instance, if you highlighted every passage about speech and then read them all at once, you will have a download of wisdom about speech, and I guarantee it will affect how you speak. One of my favorite verses about speech is, "A word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in fittings of silver." After studying the theme of speech in Proverbs, you will likely speak less and you'll listen more, which is both wisdom in itself and a proven way to gain more wisdom. Whatever theme you choose to study, you will be changed. The next level is to take some of the verses that have stuck out to you that you maybe marked up the first time through, anything that's caught your eye, anything of interest, and now go back a third time and pay attention to those verses. And they might be on a wide variety of themes, but they're essentially relevant to you. And then you turn those verses into a prayer. What you do is you can copy out or write out or cut and paste out from a digital Bible every highly relevant verse to you. Then you put them all together in one page and then begin to pray them for you and your family and your friends and your church and turn them into a prayer. Well, how do you do that? Let's say you've highlighted that oft-quoted passage of Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Well, you basically take those words and use them as the source for a prayer. Lord, I choose to trust in you with all my heart. I don't want to lean on my own understanding in anything. In the challenges and the decisions I'm facing, I acknowledge you as the Lord, as my Lord, as the one who knows everything, loves me, wants what's best for me. I acknowledge you and your reign over this world, and I trust you to direct my paths. Help me know what to do when I come to the different forks in the road in my life. And you can easily then pray those same kinds of things for others, for your family, your small group, your church, even political leaders. This is one of the best ways to immerse yourself in a passage of Scripture. Just pray it through. And in fact, you could turn the entire book into a long prayer. You could just spend your time praying through the Book of Proverbs, praying for its application into your life and the lives of others. Level 4 in your quest for wisdom. Memorize. Memorize the key verses that jump out at you. Maybe you can just pick one verse per chapter, a key verse, or maybe a few key verses on the theme that interest you. Or just pick the ones that are especially relevant for you at the moment. Most verses in Proverbs are standalone. And memorizing a single verse is like a good bite of a wisdom appetizer. Some verses are clustered in paragraphs and should ideally be memorized with that full context. The first few chapters of Proverbs, chapters 1 through 9, which I've actually memorized in the past and need to review again, those first few chapters have more of a narrative flow to them. Maybe you want to memorize some of those bigger chunks, especially the opening chapter or two. Those would be very worthwhile to memorize. And they really set the foundation for wisdom. Just memorize whatever verses you select and internalize them. Taking in the word changes you. And as you take in the word tied to wisdom, it will make you wiser. Finally, level 5. And really you can and should be doing this even on your first time through and after each chapter. But at some point, perhaps as you've come to the end of your run in Proverbs, ask the question, what will I do as a result of what I've learned here in Proverbs? Again, you can do that after every chapter, but certainly at the end of your study. That question is the Discovery Bible Study question, the final question, the application question. And so as you're about to move on to another study beyond Proverbs, you can just ask yourself, what is the highest level application from this book for me? What's my take home? What's my I will statement? Be sure to make it very specific. Make it an actual application. Something you will do concretely that you will know if you've done it or not. Part of that application can be passing on what you've learned to someone else. Perhaps you could lead a study on one of those themes. Perhaps you could share some of the key verses, the key lessons that have impacted you with your small group. So here's how you can immerse in the wisdom of Proverbs. A chapter a day, then a theme, then prayers, then memorize, and all the way through and at the end, application. If you work over Proverbs in this way, or rather let the Spirit using Proverbs work you over in this way, you will gain wisdom. Because spending time in Proverbs will also bump you towards doing wise things, such as associating with wise people, such as responding to the Lord's voice, such as speaking less, and many other things. The Missional Living Map has a full module on feeding yourself that describes even more ways to study the Bible. You can learn more about that on the 12church.net website. So wisdom to you as you begin and continue your quest for wisdom. There's no better way to start that journey than immersing in the book of Proverbs. Press on.